Hello, and welcome to On Stage at the BACP. As always, thank you so much for choosing to invite us into your home, your office, or wherever you are. You might even be on vacation, and if you are, thanks for taking us along. As you know, we're in a series called our Summer Series 2021. This is episode number 5, I think it is. Anyway, we're telling you stories about how the BACP got its start, and we're hearing those stories from people who were actually there while it was happening. Today, we're welcoming back 3 of our most recent guests to share some more stories about the move from the Main Street location, the early Main Street location, over to Memphis Place. So please welcome Tom Berenson, Ron Friedberg, and Chester Beebe.
We left the building on Main, and we were homeless, and so we had to try to find another building, trying to raise money. Sherry Lewis and I did a silly thing. We went to the different civic clubs and put on about a 30-minute, 40-minute program trying to get money so we could buy our own building. We ended up being able to raise enough. We bought a little building on East Memphis. We were there, oh Lord, I don't know how many years.
7?
At least.
Like yeah, 7 or 8.
In the meantime, we continued to put on shows. We did something funny on the way. Something funny happened on the way to the Forum. I couldn't remember the lines then. I can't now, but that's okay. We did that in a very large equipment shed. A guy had kept his tractors and his mowers and his chickens and his cats. We did that in that facility. That's community theater.
We did a wonderful show in the barn. It was an unbelievable show. And during halftime or intermission, we would go out and we would find the chickens and we would set them down and we would do this to them and they would be paralyzed. And we all went on stage saying, "We have magic." That's theater. We did lots of neat stuff. We did that in the winter in togas. Let me tell you, you get really cold under those togas.
Unbelievable. Finally, we were able to get the property on East Memphis. My wife at the time was managing the theater. My wife, Sandy, who can get money out of anybody, she was able to talk enough people in Broken Arrow to donate the materials to finish out that theater. She got for skilled labor to do it. She went to the prison in, I can't remember, it wasn't in, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
the one near OK.
These are guys, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and they volunteered their time, and their families could come with them to the theater when they worked on it, and we'd get pizza, and it was great. It was absolutely wonderful.
We loved that. We loved the Ledger building tremendously, or at least I did, because it was like a birthplace. Bob Plum passed away, and when he passed away, something major changed, because he was the heart and soul of the theater. And some people say he's still around. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even remember the year it was that we decided to move, 82, 83, maybe it was 83. It was 83, and I wasn't very happy with it. I liked where we were. There were probably reasons that the board knew about that I wasn't privy to. And so I wasn't terribly pleased with the concept of where we were moving. It was an industrial park on the other side of Lynn Lane. And I remember just having a lot of conflict about it. And then I had a dream one night, and it was one of those dreams that sort of changes your whole attitude. I was dreaming, and Bob Plum came into the dream, and I may get a little teary-eyed, because anytime I think about that guy, it drives me crazy, and it's like teared up. He was my 9th grade drama coach. He was my 8th grade math teacher. So, you know, he was a big part of my life. He's like a surrogate dad. But I had this dream, and I remember I was walking down Main Street close to this building, and I was talking to Bob, and he says, you know, it doesn't really matter where you perform because it's still a theater. And I woke up thinking, you're absolutely right. And it sort of changed my whole attitude about it. So we moved into this little, really small industrial building that had, I think it was 8-foot drop ceilings. We had our old seats, and we moved in there. Probably sat about 80 people, if I was to guess. And there we did some really fantastic shows. We did Godspell for the first time, packed the houses. Sherry Hacker, who is now the head of the box office. She's the box office lady. She was the assistant manager. On the night, one of the major co-stars got sick, so Sherry had to go on stage without knowing her lines. So it's one of those situations that I call going out on the tightrope without ever having gone on a tightrope before without a net, because she had no lines, and basically she carried a script with her. She told the folks on stage, rightly so, that if she's not in the right place, just shove her. She'll make it look like part of the show. And she did a fantastic job. And to this day, it's still something that she laughs about and talks about, and said it was the scariest thing she'd ever done in her life. It was also it was the location of the first time I ever directed a show. It was called A Tomb with a View, which they let me direct the rinky-dink Halloween shows because they were pretty sure nobody would show up. And they were usually a la carte shows that didn't have a lot of depth or substance to them. But this was a pretty good show. There was I wish my memory was better. There was a gentleman in it who played Lucius. I remember the name of the character, who played Lucius, and he was actually related to Edgar Allan Poe. I did not know, but I thought that was so cool.
I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. It's really great learning so much about the early days of the BACP, and fun to hear all the great stories that they have to share. All three of these guys that were here today will be back later on in the summer to share more stories and more memories. But for now, that's it. Thanks again for choosing to invite us in, and we hope you'll invite us back for more On Stage at the BACP Summer Series 2021.